friends, it's good to be here with you today. I want to talk about something that seems to be a universal problem right now for a lot of people. And that's that we're stuck in the middle. It's July, it's the middle of the summer, it's the middle of summer break for a lot of people, it's the middle of the year, and lots of us are in the middle of lots of other things. And many of us are stressed out to the max and floundering because of it. So my purpose today is to throw you a lifeline. We're going to talk about why that middle part tends to get really hard and murky and what we can do to get through it and hopefully still have some sense of sanity left once we do. Everything in life has three parts. It has a beginning, it has a middle, and it has an end. And the beginning is usually really fun and exciting and full of promise and hope. And the middle part gets a little muddled and murky. And the end is often triumphant, introspective, and glorious. Maybe it's sometimes a little sad and melancholy too. Regardless of what the details of our life are, we are all in the middle of something. Maybe we're in the middle of raising kids. Maybe we're in the middle of a messy divorce, or our own healing process, or a really big project. Hey, and if you're lucky, maybe you're in the middle of a great vacation. There are all kinds of middle phases, but there is something common about almost all of them. They're all hard. They're all disorienting. It's where our motivation slips and our perspectives start to change. It's where overwhelm and doubt start to set in. And maybe it's also where we start to question everything. As a mom of trauma kids myself, I know how unbelievably hard this particular middle part of being in the middle of summer break can be. The kids are bored, the novelty of summer has worn off, everyone's had entirely too much family together time, tensions are high, behaviors are off the charts, resources are often thin, and emotional reserves are often thinner. To make things worse, we've got school that is looming on the horizon, and each passing day brings us closer to it. There's new teachers, new friends, new experiences. Many are going to new schools. There's new transitions, new people we have to educate, and a whole bunch of unknowns about how this next year is going to go. And everything just seems to end up in this huge ball of anxiety and stress and fear of the next beginning and the next middle. And what all comes with that tend to collide head on with the issues of the current middle that have not yet been resolved and all that must be done in order for that phase to come to an end. And those problems are real. They are also much bigger than I can describe. Even though my trauma kids aren't living with me anymore, the anxiety and the triggers are still palpable, and my nervous system is still feeling it. Because this is actually the first July in over 20 years that we haven't had some kind of a major life-altering event or a crisis where someone has ended up either in the psychiatric unit or required some kind of police involvement or emergency respite because things got so out of control. I want to switch gears now and talk about how we get through this middle part, whatever our middle part may be. I have a few tips I want to share with you that can hopefully help you out with that. The first one is to slow down. When things heat up in our world, our natural tendency as humans is to start running faster and faster and faster and faster to try and keep up. But, my friends, that only puts more balls in the air, and it makes even more things that we have to keep track of, and it makes everything just spin faster and faster and faster and faster until it all just blows apart. So, do the opposite to get a different result. The next tip is to make time to nourish yourself. And I'm talking body, heart, mind, and soul here. It's not easy to do, especially when your plate is already so full, but it is absolutely necessary, and this is probably the most critical time that you need to do it, because our own energetic systems are just like a car or just like a battery. We can't always plow through giving everything we've got to everyone else. In order to be able to keep going and to keep functioning, there's times where we have to stop and rest and refuel and recharge, because we won't function any better running on empty than the car or the battery will. Tip number 3 is to reorient yourself. Maps and GPS exist for a reason. They're all about the middle part. They show us how to get from the beginning to the end and make sure that we stay on course in the middle so we can get there. This middle part might be a good time for you to step back and to reorient yourself. It might be a good time to revisit some of those questions that tend to lurk in the back of all of our minds. Why am I doing this? And they said this was going to be fun? What's the end goal here? Am I still on track to get where I want to go? Is what I'm doing going to get me to that point? And is this even what I still really want at all? Tip number 4 is especially important if you are in the middle part of a situation where there are a lot of sparks frequently flying around. And that is to make a real and a concerted effort to calm your own nervous system down. This isn't about fixing anyone or making anything go away. It's about interrupting those stress and trauma loops so that things can settle down. So pay attention and notice when you've been triggered. The best indicators of this are rapid mood changes, emotional changes, and how things start to feel in our bodies. If things were fine one minute and now they're not and things are really constricting up, pay attention, because there's something going on. And that's the time to pick a tool, any tool from the many, many calming tools that are available out there, and do something to calm that nervous system. Just as a reminder, I have a printable list of 25 different calming tools that are very, very effective and can be used right there in the heat of the moment. And those are available for free. That link is down below in the description. The last tip I have for you for getting through these middle parts is to adjust your perspective. Once things start to settle down and safety has been reestablished for everyone, I believe that adjusting our perspectives is one of the most important things that we can do. Trauma will keep us looping over and over and over and over on one single thought, on a single perspective, and on a single track. And what that ultimately does is it keeps us locked in overwhelm and doubt and fear that will just keep growing and keep stress levels rising. Doing things to intentionally break out of that and seeking to see things from a different angle and from a different point of view, and especially from someone else's point of view, is a great way to reset, to reorient, and to see everything so much more clearly. I hope these tips have been helpful for you as you seek to survive the middle of whatever you're currently going through. Notice I didn't say escape the middle, because we can't. There's no way to avoid it. We can't go over it. We can't go under it. We can't go around it. The only way to get to the end is to go through the murky middle. And so you might as well just do it and embrace it. Because in reality, the middle part is actually the most crucial part of the journey. It's the growing zone. It's where we learn, where we become stronger, and where we conquer. And when it's all said and done, it's that middle part, the hardest part, that will be the true testament to our determination and to our willpower. You know, if you're one of my many friends who is really drowning in this middle part right now, I want you to know there will come a time when this middle of whatever you're going through right now will fade away and it will transition to the end. You might not be able to see that time yet, but as you approach it, I do believe that you will look back at this middle part that feels so crushing right now, with awe and with gratitude, and maybe with a little horror and disbelief too. Yes, that happens. But you will look back knowing what you actually accomplished and what you actually conquered and what you actually survived. And hopefully you will realize that holding on through it was worth it. Wherever you're at in your journey, don't give up. Rest when you need to, embrace the struggle, adjust your perspectives, and hold on to the end, knowing that there will be an end. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like it, to subscribe to my channel, and to hit the notification bell to keep getting more inspiring content like this. If you found it worthwhile, share it with somebody else. I would also love for you to share your own thoughts and experiences in the comments down below. Let's support each other through this journey. It's way too big to do alone. So until next time, you've got this. I believe in you, and you don't have to do this alone. Bye.